There is a lot of bad advice in the online space. Yesterday, I had the privilege of leading a call for some VIPs in a group that I am a part of. And it never ceases to amaze me how many times people have been given bad advice for their online business. In this particular case, we were talking about putting a strategy in place. These people had gone through an experience with me where they were really trying to solidify their niche within their chosen space, many of them in the human design or astrology space. And they were coming up with these lead magnets that just made no sense at all. They didn't drive people closer to working with them. So that's what we're going to be unpacking here today on the Unjaded podcast. We're going to be talking about what your lead magnet actually has to deliver in order to fit the strategy for your business that gets you hired. Because that's what your lead magnet should be doing, getting you hired. So fresh out of this masterclass that I offered, this workshop that I offered, I was looking around online for a few minutes because I was posting to my stories. And I saw 3 separate posts that were giving cookie cutter generic advice. And that advice goes something like, if you're a generator, this is the lead magnet you should create. If you're a projector, this is the lead magnet you need to create in your business. And I have never seen such hogwash in all my life. That kind of stuff is what's going to keep you stuck in your business if you listen to it. There is no rule that says because you're a projector, you need to have this type of lead magnet or that type of lead magnet. There's no rule that says if you're a projector, you need to have this type of business or that type of business. That just doesn't make sense. And it defeats the entire purpose of leaning into your specific human design. It's more generalized information, which is what in the human design space we take a stand against. So you can tell that I'm a little bit fired up here this morning. Your lead magnet has 2 jobs. Number 1, you need to get your audience member, the person who has downloaded your lead magnet, a quick win. And number 2, it needs to open a loop and make people hungry for more. It should make them want to go further into your world. If all you've done is just created a lead magnet because somebody told you that's the kind of lead magnet that you should have, and it doesn't match the rest of your business, it's not doing you any service at all. Now, I don't know about you, but I have probably 100 PDF lead magnets in the files in my computer that I have never even opened. Or I open the lead magnet and I'm like, this is like going to college trying to go through this lead magnet. It's 1,111 pages because angel numbers. And it's just too much. People are already overwhelmed when they get to your website, when they click on the link in your stories, when they come into your world through a speaking engagement you have. They are already on overwhelm. Your lead magnet should not be the thing that tips them over the edge and overwhelms them further. It should actually give them an answer to a problem that they are having. So that is key, is in your online business, you really need to understand what problem is it that you're solving in your business with your offer. What is the result of going through the container that you offer, be it a course, a coaching program, a one-on-one session, whatever it is? What is the end result of that? What does someone have on the other side? You need to know those things in order to create the lead magnet that actually leads people to want the result that you are promising. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples from this session that I did yesterday so that you can apply it to your own business. I think that's always useful if you have something that you can kind of mirror in your own work. One of the people in there was a parenting coach. And she was really struggling with what kind of a lead magnet because she wanted to give kind of a resource for people. What my suggestion was for her was to actually build something that showed them, she's a human design parenting coach, that showed them why human design is the answer to the strained relationship that they have with their child. I'm trying to speak here without identifying the person. So what that could look like for her is kind of a generic lead magnet, not with birth information and things like that, but a generic lead magnet where she walks through some of the issues that can come up with your children when you have a strained relationship between parent and child. Walk through some of the basic things that might be coming up, 3 to 5 things that could be coming up for you if you have a strained relationship with your child. And these should be actual real life events. She is following that mother around for the day, and she sees that these things are happening as a direct result of this strained relationship. What actually is that woman feeling? or dealing with because of this strained relationship. And how human design, which is the tool that she's using, how human design can actually help that mother and child to do better, to have the end result of what it would be when they're working with her. And then in her paid offer in her funnel, it could be a more personalized approach. It could then be asking for the birth information for the parent and the child and giving a targeted, maybe audio recording or one-on-one session or something like that. Now, this fits her particular business model. I'm not saying that you need to do this in your business. But rather than having this generic resource that just pours human design knowledge on this mama, she's actually going to take her through targeted scenarios and give her tips to help in those situations based on her human design business. What was another one that came up? There was another person who had I'm going to say exercise. It's not just exercise, but some sort of a physical practice that she was combining with human design tools. And with this physical practice, her whole premise is that the body provides information. The body provides information, but as women, we are so burnt out. We are so driven to succeed. We are so focused on taking care of everyone else that we're not listening to our bodies. So she wants to give one little thing that can help that person move forward. So maybe her lead magnet could be a practice, a 5 to 10 minute practice that the person does every day for 7 days or does 3 times in that week. And if you're going to do something like that in a lead magnet, I would have an evaluation, a self-evaluation at the beginning before they do any, and then afterwards, how do they feel? So it could even be, you're going into this movement practice on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about 3 different things? And then after the movement practice, on a scale of 1 to 10, what has changed? Has the number changed at all on that scale for them? Because you really want your person to see that they are getting a win. They need to know that they're getting a win, because sometimes that's what happens. We have so much that we are throwing at them that they don't even realize they're moving forward. So I guess the best advice that I can offer here is to scale it back. Your lead magnet shouldn't be something that takes someone that feels like a project to them. It should be something that actually feels manageable. And when you add some self-evaluation in, no matter what your lead magnet is, that helps them to actually own their experience as they go through their lead magnet. Remember that people pay us to edit and they pay for our interpretation. They want our help in moving them forward. They just don't want information dumped on them. So let go of that cookie cutter advice that you have been following. And today, my challenge to you is to really look at your business. Start with your offer. What is it that your offer, what problem is it that your offer solves? And what is the result on the other side of working with you? And then backtrack. What are the baby steps that someone needs to take in order to understand that they need and want that offer? Your lead magnet needs to offer them a win on that pathway so that they can understand that you are the person who's going to help them solve the problem that they are dealing with. The actual problem. The actual problem is not spiritual gobbledygook and coach speak. The actual problem is something that she is lying in bed and awake at night thinking about. That's your challenge for today. Take a good hard look at your business. Take a good hard look at your current lead magnet and see if it fits the bill. And if not, go back to the drawing board and get that step in order. And then remember to promote your lead magnet everywhere. It's our job to bring people into our world, to invite them into our world. So make sure that you are doing that in your business too.